Dire team ban.
I admit
Radiant
nothing
team
but my
Dire
sadness
team
that
back.
you're gone.
Radiant team Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Dire.
Earth Spirit.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Face this
Dire
void.
team ban.
Timber saw!
Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and with that, hello and welcome back.
5
We have
seconds
got
remaining.
the final best of 2 of the day coming up for you here at the Moon Studio Mid-Autumn League. We've got Neon Esports up against MG.Trust,
team Dire
so
team ban.
I'm not really sure what to expect from this matchup. I have not seen MG.Trust play at all in the past, not gonna lie, and we're gonna see how Neon are gonna deal with that, what they are going to pick together here. I mean, they already got 2 of their biggest comfort heroes with the Earth Spirit as well as the Timber Saw.
10 seconds
Neon has
remaining.
had a pretty successful history with either one of them.
5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
And it looks like so far, in terms of the bans, not really a lot of interesting stuff going on, other than that Invoker ban. That is one of the 2 favorite mid laners in the current meta, in my opinion. The other one, of course, would be the Arc Warden, who is a viable hero again, who is still left in the draft and decent against the Void as well, but for the time being we got a Shadow Demon picked up, alongside a Timber Saw. That's plenty of, you know, early game
10
spell sustain
seconds
at least.
remaining.
Whatever hard carry Neon are gonna go for, they're definitely gonna have a
5
good time making
seconds
space,
remaining.
at least until the Void comes online. The Void on his own already could be a huge issue, but we're gonna see how that one works out. And what Motivate wanna go for to protect the Void here. Other than the Snapfire, of course, who, admittedly, I mean, cookies onto a Void who's being chain disabled can really easily save his life, and it's a pretty decent hero all over the board. Still, I'm kinda, I don't know, undecided here, since Neon, just imagine if they go for like a Terrorblade right now, which is still left in the draft, or something like an Arc Warden and then a Juggernaut carry, another hero that we've seen today. There are a bunch of options for the side of Neon to still, despite that threatening Void being second picked here by MG.Trust, make do and get everything to work out in their favor here. I do like the Void pickup though. I don't think there's a lot of heroes in the current meta at all that are able to compete with him, and even the ones that are, they usually don't outscale the Void. So with that hero, you just about always secure yourself the late game, except for like maybe a Terrorblade and an Arc Warden and, you know, a handful of other heroes. Still, now it's all about whether they're gonna get the space for the Void or not, and
10
with the
seconds
Clockwork
remaining.
definitely going to have a decent lane sustain and a
5
decent
seconds
amount of,
remaining.
you know, big chunky heroes to throw at the enemy. Snapfire 2 does have a decent health pool to work with in those team fights, but I feel like Motivate needs something in the way of a ranged hero here to really tie the draft together.
Dire team pick. Dire.
Man stands ready.
And it looks like Neon, they are gonna go with a high-risk hero in this particular draft, immediately get punished for it.
10 seconds remaining.
And with that, well, I don't know, I feel like Sven really isn't the pick, especially if the enemy doesn't have their mid laner revealed and then picks up a Bat Rider like this. It's perfect for countering a Sven initiation, perfect for wasting Sven's ultimate as well. And you know, not a great hero against the Void either. Yeah, you're tanky. He does have one significant power curve where Neon may just be able to run all over their opponents. But if they miss that, it's gonna be a hard game with the draft as it is. Of course, both teams still get some very interesting last picks here. And I do feel like Motivate need to run their Bat Rider on the middle lane, which could mean Sven gets shut down before he even hits the jungle. But on the other hand, that also means that Neon could now just go for a relatively greedy mid lane or something to, you know, add a little bit of extra damage, add a little bit of extra catch, make sure that the Sven is gonna have an easy time. Yeah, the Legion Command, I would have really liked that pick. Alternatively, it could be a mid lane Earth Spirit, I think. I don't see Neon laning the Timbersaw mid here, although they definitely want extra catch, they definitely want the utility hero here if they don't go for something super hard scaling like that Legion Commander which just got banned out. Team Neon now gotta make up their mind, is this an offlane Bat Rider or not? I do not think so, but apparently Team Neon do. They are gonna ban out the Zeus, make sure that that hero is gone. I do like Zeus nowadays that the freaking Null Talismans give mana regen. He has such a good lane sustain. A great time last hitting, shoving out the lane and dealing good amount of harass too.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Motivate, trust. All they need is... Well, I mean, in terms of frontliners, they're not in too bad of a spot either, but I feel like they would have loved something like the Abaddon that they've banned themselves. Void Spirit would have also been a huge last pick. I feel like something that goes in, causes a little bit of chaos, just, you know, kites the Sven around for a bit as well. Seems really good here for Motivate. I wonder what they're gonna go with.
Storm Spirit!
It is gonna be an offlane Bat Rider. It is a great hero picked up here for Motivate when it comes to kiting the Sven around, when it comes to just, you know, having a good amount of crowd control as well as that lockdown the Storm Spirit offers. It can definitely really mess with the Sven before he gets his BKB. Yeah, you don't really have a lot in the way of answers to the BKB on the side of Motivate Trust, other than the lasso and the chrono, of course, but by that time you kind of already want your Void to be online. I feel like Storm Spirit can just delay the BKB of Sven so much, can just apply so much pressure once he starts to leave the lane, and now Neon, they really gotta shut him down in the laning stage here. Okay, it's gonna be a Neek's last pick. Great hero for answering the storm. The mana burn is pretty good. Spiked Carpus to just, you know, go and hack a couple of remnants. Always a great combo. Still, I do like this draft from Neon a lot now that it's starting to come together. Now that Neek's Assassin is gonna be the one to keep the Stormer back. Make sure your Sven gets online in one clean go. You can never really fall off. You can never really take even trades. That's not what you want on the Sven. You want to keep him behind all the time until he's finally farmed up and then end this in one clean go. Make sure you make use of your push. Make sure the Storm Spirit isn't too scary by then, because if he just goes up to the jungle, hunts down the Sven a couple of times, you do not recover well from dying, even just once or twice, even if you get a kill for it or whatever. Whereas Faceless Void, you know,
5
not
seconds
the
remaining.
best farming hero either, but he makes up for that by being incredibly tanky. Even as Sven can compare to how good Time Walk is. And Neon, I feel like they need to win the laning stage here. If they lose the laning stage too hard, they could very well just be scaled on by the side of Motivate.
What the f just happened?
Lakad mo to, tol! Lakad mo to, tol!
Prepare
Lakad mo
for
to, tol!
Normally.
Lakad mo to, tol!
Normally.
Lakad mo to, tol!
Normally.
It seems not time here, but it's the load in. And we got Neon immediately smoking out, immediately trying to get a hold on the dire side of the runes here, trying to get that first blood going. And if they could find Jackie on the Faceless Void, it would be a perfect opportunity to do just that. Shut down the enemy carry before the game even really started. And there we go, catch on the Void. Plenty of stuns available too. He should not be allowed to time walk here. A little bit of miscommunication means the Void is going to be able to get away though. He is going to be happy with that. A lot of time wasted from the side of Neon here, who really could have used a little bit of tempo swing early on. Make sure that scams. Sven is just never going to struggle. It's just going to be able to snowball hard, hit the jungle, and freaking mass murder creeps. Since for especially the Sven side, it's all about the time before you manage to go to the jungle. Faceless Void, he's one of those heroes. He's always kind of hard to catch, but he doesn't really increase his farming speed to kind of make up for it. Sven, on the contrary, he is, you know, an absolute beast. Who, once he starts snowballing, gets a couple of stacks especially, just gonna not leave Void any space. Anytime Void is seen in a lane without a Chronosphere. You can just run at any given melee hero. You don't even care for bashes on a Sven. If you care, get a Satanic, but once you get crits, I don't feel like you need anything else. And starting off the laning stage, we've got a Spirit versus Spirit matchup. Yopash, very comfortable on that Earth Spirit. Is going to be the tempo setter of this game as well. After all, he does have a lot of AoE. Can help set things up for those big 2-on-2, 3-on-3 team fights on the off lanes. Once he hits level 6. Up against Storm Spirit, who, well, yeah, he is a hero that applies a lot more pressure because, well, Earth Spirit mostly just initiates team fights. If you're not just keeping him there for a stun or something. You need AoE. You need to like play around your ultimate timing, find 2 targets or more to really get your value. Whereas Storm Spirit, you know, every time you have ultimate and you have mana, you just jump to an off lane when there's nothing else to do. You just try to set up those kills. Mine! But, you know, in exchange for that, once Earth Spirit's ultimate is off cooldown, he can definitely single-handedly turn those early fights up till the 15-20 minute mark even.
Yeah, no.
Which could make it hard for MTG's Faceless Void to come online at the timing that he expects.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
And it looks like Sven's courier got sniped on the top lane.
My sadness and your masterpiece is
And, well, that courier got sniped on the middle lane. Storm Spirit, he just got freaking kicked when he thought he was already out of range. That's awkward. Didn't have Fairy Fire or anything on him. But it looks like Yopesh, he is getting the lead he needs out of this lane. If he keeps it up, he can just transition that into a very hard laning stage here. For the side of Team MTG, who they need to pull ahead, or at the very least, you know, make sure the Void stays on par with the Sven, because the Sven is gonna outfarm you at any given rate. But if the Earth Spirit comes around, if the Earth Spirit just, I don't know, wins a couple of team fights in a row, things could work out disastrous here. For the time being, we're waiting though, since there is of course a huge initiation tool for the side of MTG as well. They're waiting on their Batrider to get level 6, have that first ultimate to work with, and on the bottom lane now Snapfire in a little bit of trouble. Is gonna be fine walking that one off though. With the Timber Saw, the Whirling Depth, it's really a lot scarier than it looks, because, well, Bombell, he is getting strength back. Did take the time to solve up, get the maximum value out of those heal items. On the top lane, we just got a bit of support trading going on. Not too much kill potential on any of these lanes, unless of course either player makes a huge misplay on the mid lane, but Yopesh, he is pretty darn beefy. Should be fine holding his own against the Storm Spirit, even though he may have to buy a bit of regen. And the Storm Spirit, he's died once. For him, it's all about not going down, maybe, you know, farming this little side camp, but that's Mud Golems too. And on the bottom lane, Playhard is gonna get executed there by Bombell with the last little bit of his mana. Snapfire has been a hugely popular hero for a while now. I mean, honestly, I don't like the hero that much other than the amazing Aghanim Scepter, but here, of course, it's all about the synergy you get with the Faceless Void. Once the Void gets a couple points in the bash, the two of them can run pretty much anyone out of the lane. Playhard in position for a gank on the mid lane now. I don't think they have an easy time finding Fearless though, but after level 6, Storm Spirit is set up for a really easy game. He does not fall off once he hits his ultimate. Able to dodge a large... Oh, that is a beautiful hit back. Fearless just gonna go for the TP, and it looks like nothing to interrupt available. Pretty happy with having wasted so much time from the side of Neon. Looking at the last hit, Sven is suffering. Would really like to have a kill to make up for it, but Q able to get out of there. Switching over to the net worth now, we see that Yopesh, he is snowballing hard from his mid lane for the time being. It's gonna be able to keep that up for a while. Clockwork, it's gonna go down, and now Storm Spirit fighting Yopesh once again, but it looks like Yopesh is gonna be just fine with his ultimate. Used it for only one target there, and he's still gonna die for it, so actually not all that horrible for MTG. They do kind of just need to stop the Earth Spirit, especially the Earth Spirit ultimate, from ruining their Void's game here, and the Void may not be too far ahead, but he's third in net worth. Still a decent bit ahead of the Sven, and if Void can just get a couple of kills, he farms heroes instead of creeps, at least when it comes to the farming efficiency that Sven offers for the side of Neon here. They're gonna have to play around the Chronosphere timing. They're gonna have to give the Void a pretty high kill involvement as well. And it looks like Bombell getting out of there.
Radiant are scanning.
Fearless, still no level 6. Just needs one more quarter and then he can start wrecking people, but in that time he takes to get level 6 even, Yopesh already has that ultimate coming off cooldown again, and he's not even needed top as Sven just goes down. Lasso now coming in at an amazing timing as well, and those first couple of ultimates are really going to set the game pace here, are really going to determine which team is going to be able to pull ahead. And once the team pulls ahead, this game could be over at like the 30-minute mark or something ridiculously early like that. Storm Spirit getting left out, silenced up, but there's the Earth Spirit ultimate, and Neeks in position as well. Bombell He's gonna take for a while, has to get back. Does still have the stick, so nothing to worry about in terms of the Earth Spirit, but he went up the Storm Spirit there. He just really wants the Void to kind of be forced to carry this on his own, because yeah, he can pull that off. It's one of the few heroes with that much carry potential, but he also is super dependent on that Chronosphere timing. We're gonna have to see how that works out. Can purge the damage from Timbersaw, but can't of course purge that Whirling Death, which will weaken this Chronosphere quite a bit, but there's the Bat Rider. Bringing in the Firefly, beautifully timed lasso as well. Spiked Carp is not really gonna do all that much, and a Lucky Bash is gonna make sure the Timbersaw just drops swiftly. Team MG, they're satisfied with this. They are really happy they didn't have to chase for more, and they do not want to give the side of Neon any chance to teleport in. Neon Sven, who so far hasn't had that good of a lane, could still turn out disastrous at any given moment, so keeping that pressure going, perhaps taking one of these tier 1 towers, which are both still in excellent shape on the side of Neon, should be a priority here for MG. If they want to pull ahead, if they want to make sure that Void's GPM is keeping up with his best, so possible. Storm Spirit saved by the Invis rune there. Would have gone down to that mid lane gank again. And that was the Earth Spirit ultimate once more. Without that ultimate, there isn't really a lot of kill potential across the board. Neon, the early Sven ultimate at level 1 doesn't really do a lot. And Nyx Assassin, even with his ultimate, he's not gonna have that easy of a time roaming around anymore, so MG, it's now their time to fight, and they will take it. Beautiful cookie out on the Timbersaw. They do have the damage to just kill him off. Once again, won't get anything extra, but just a single kill to buy some space for the Void is exactly what they need. If they just keep finding them while the Void keeps farming, then this head-to-head race of the two hard carries could become really close here, actually. But all over the board, not really a lot going on except for both teams trying to set up their positioning. Seconds till the Earth Spirit ultimate left. So even with the Timbersaw, they may not have the kill potential over on the top lane. And it looks like MG, they realized that. Bring forward the Bat Rider, who does have an ultimate. He got silenced up though, but in come the Snapfire, blocks Yopash. A juicy target for the side of Team MG to go on, and they get one. They will get the Timbersaw as well, and now chasing for more. Even Playart could be caught. Neon, they are struggling. This Sven, he needs to come online, but he's really not getting any space. MG got themselves an ownage going. Got a 2k gold lead going up as well. There is still a bounty rune up here, but MG won't take that one at least. So Team Neon only 2k behind. That's not too bad for Sven to catch up.
Is under attack.
If you give this hero a couple of stacks, he can make up for any major gold disadvantage at this stage of the game, but it looks like MG, they're just looking for that Chronosphere now that that one is online. The second anyone rotates in the Void, at least, they will be dead.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And in addition to that, you know, once the push is there, with a Snapfire, with a Void, with a Clockwork, which admittedly they aren't the best tower hitters, but they are pretty good when it comes to scouting high ground. They are pretty good when it comes to poking people back, because you do not want to stand in hookshot range against the clock at all. So I don't know, I feel like once that ball of death really starts, once everybody starts grouping up around the Void, if the Sven isn't online, it could be a very short game for MTG here. And I think Scam knows that. He's a pretty experienced Dota player. He's done nothing but farm for the last 8 or so minutes. Has been pretty happy with GPM now that he's hit the jungle, sitting in top spot. In comes the Earth Spirit ultimate counter hookshot from the Clockwork onto Yopash. But it looks like neither team really wants to commit more for that. As of right now, Yopash, he finds an opportunity to catch the Void, and Void is gonna go down. Yopesh low now, but he's sticking to the back. The rest of Neon advancing, looking for more. And the Void is, of course, the one hero that MG could not afford to lose right there, but still did. Void just went to AFK farm for like 10 more minutes.
Radiant's
That's
middle
not quite
tower is under attack.
as easily done as said. Clockwork dares to walk up the high ground, gets greeted by 3 people. Stone Spirit jumps on in. It's gonna dish out a ton of damage onto the Shadow Demon for now. Shadow Demon's gonna go down. Timbersaw will kill the Snapfire. Now it's gonna kill off Q as well on the Clockwork. Down goes Yopesh. Faceless Void, he came back in. He did manage to make it work. It was a double kill. And it looks like he is gonna get at least a little bit more of assist gold, if not the kill himself. Fearless takes him down, and these kill trades seem to be working out really well for MG. Sven, not a hero that would like to trade. He needs to, at the very least, get level 2 in his ultimate. At the very least, get 2 of those items to allow him to run at people. And MG, they're taking full advantage of it. Yeah, Void usually isn't a hero you want to commit to early fights either. You just want him to farm AFK, but if you have nothing else to farm, just go farm heroes. He is now approaching his Hand of Midas, and if he gets that, it's gonna be very hard to get Jackie pressured enough to fall off on that Void. As for the Storm Spirit, it looks like he is opting for that early Orchid and is gonna have some excellent timing. Whereas Yopesh on the Earth Spirit going for Blade Mail, making use, getting some value of the double Bracer plus power threads. I don't know, this is still looking really good for MG right now. If they keep playing like this, the game is gonna be over in like 20 to 30 minutes here because, well, of course, could also end the way that Void just doesn't have Chronosphere and gets overran, but every time Chrono is up on a fat Void, that is gonna be a guaranteed death on a core here. Sven, he relies about pulling ahead right now, and while Scam maybe is, the rest of his team aren't, and he can't really fight on his own for a long time, and even if he can, he's gonna get kited quite a bit. Not an easy game right here for the side of Neon if they don't find any kind of smoke, any kind of way to create the Sven a little bit more space to shut down the Void potentially. Instead, it's gonna be the Leaked Assassin just out on the hunt.
See you later, nerd. See you later, nerd.
Trying to set something up for Neon, but it was MG who came forward, who wanted to fight. And now it is Neon chasing them. There is the Earth Spirit ultimate. Committed once again for a single kill, but hey, both teams currently live and die by the pickoffs. A stack being made here by the Void no less, who really wants to keep up with Scams. Sven, he hasn't had that many big stacks so far himself. I kept looking over here too. On the mid lane now, Q got caught, gets cookied out again. And it looks like the gold lead, which was 2k, is now down to 1k. But if we look at the distribution, Sven is pulling ahead as expected of that hero. But as is the Void. The Void hasn't been contested in a while. His farming speed is picking up. He decided to forgo the Midas, actually opt for an early BKB here. And it looks like Team MG, they know their timing. They know they have to finish this in one clean go once they get the chance to. Gonna be a smoke gank up this high ground. Timbersaw will be found. Storm Spirit coming in with the Vortex. But it looks like MG, they do not really want to fight here, given as the tank is their only objective they can take. That's not worth it, committing 3 people there, risking counter initiation. And you know, Void is farming, so why bother, but
Stupendous!
Earth Spirit ultimate is available. Sven has his ultimate level 2 now as well, is opting for that Aghanims. Once he gets that, the action is gonna kick off here. Meanwhile, Adrider, he got caught on the bottom lane. Overstate is welcome a bit, ratting with TP boots, and
Radiant's
Looks like we
middle
may have some
tower
action
is
coming in
under
over on the mid lane. An instant hookshot in the face of the Nice Assassin. He was not expecting that, I don't think. The double initiation being used to the fullest extent. Dawnbird taking a lot of debuff, taking a lot of damage, and in comes the Sven. That is the damage that this hero deals early on, and getting himself a well-deserved double kill. Echo Saber ready and immediately just tearing up people left and right. Well, it doesn't really have that much damage, anywhere near that much damage. He does have a Chronosphere available though, and just be looking for a chance to throw it out. Nope, instead it's just gonna be Scam tearing apart the Batrider, and it looks like Neon, they are back in the driver's seat of this game. They just have to make sure not to lose that Sven. And to try and kill off the Void here, because until either one of these hard carries really gets punished, nothing is decided, and that was all the big ultimates from Neon too, so MG, they know they can right now just run at their opponents, try to keep the pressure up, and really make them work for it here. And it looks like for the time being, both teams just maneuvering around. MTG, they would love to fight. They are now grouping up, but had to wait for their opponents to kind of split up first. Do have to find a good chrono target. For the time being, it's just the Timbersaw getting bashed at by the Void, and Shadow Demon gets caught in the backlines. Now Yobash wants to go in, but the Chronosphere is still available. MTG, they still have a lot of resources. Jackie, however, taking down himself for a decent amount of damage, but the Earth Spirit has been removed 3 for nothing. Chronosphere still available. No old timers other than the Globs committed for that fight. Now MG. They're gonna get an objective out of this, maybe 2 even. It's a very close game at this rate though, and both teams just, you know, taking turns pulling ahead, getting the superior momentum. Clockwork gets stunned up, is gonna be just fine for the time being though. Really no action going on. What is this?
Has fallen.
Both of these teams are supposed to fight right now because, well, if this gold lead snowballs out of control, and it could be MTG at, you know, 10k, let's say, for sake of argument, this game could end relatively quickly. Sven has his ultimate on. Pretty close to his Aghanims too, but would love to fight before the ultimate wears off. Not gonna find anyone for the time being, but that's the Void being found by the Nyx Assassin. Sven runs at the Snapfire. Jackie has that Chronosphere available, is debating whether to turn or not, but no, just wants to get out of there. He cannot afford to die either. Battle of the hard carries. Sven is making the more proactive moves, knows full well to play around his ultimate timing as early as the game allows for it. Shadow Demon not having a fun game at all. And it looks like Batrider over the top lane got killed off by Yopash as well with that Earth Spirit ultimate once again. They are making the maximum value from that mid lane Earth Spirit before he falls off, because that is going to be a bit of an issue. Earth Spirit, I'm a big fan of that hero, but usually with a way greedier offlaner than a Timbersaw.
Tower is under attack.
Here there's just like 2 big magic AoE damage dealers, which can easily be countered by a pipe, but surprisingly there's no pipe coming in because, well, 3 BKBs, or BKBs actually. If your entire team just presses BKB, no need for a pipe or anything like that. MTG not too worried about the melee the magic damage, the melee damage from the Sven though, with an Aghanim Scepter. With that ultimate as well, almost being level 3, he is gonna be hitting so hard. He is gonna be getting crits, just 2 or 3 shot everyone. Then we're gonna see whether it's gonna be enough or not for the side of Team Neon, as MTG try to sustain their gold lead here, perhaps even head out a big team fight, and it is gonna be the Snapfire caught first, cooking out of there, but straight up into a Nyx Assassin, hooked out from the Clockwork onto the Faceless Void. MTG, do they want to reset or do they just not want to fight? It seems like the latter. And
Whoa, what'd I miss?
Fearless gonna be able to get out of there.
Dire's middle tower.
Now
is
they are
under
considering resetting. And
Radiant's
these, if
bottom
the side of
tower
Team
is
Neon
under attack.
do decide to stay around. Ember gets caught out, takes a fat chunk of damage, and no help from his team as no Sven ultimate. Nobody really able to fight other than maybe the Earth Spirit. And it looks like MG, they want more.
Scanning.
They're not satisfied with mere pickoffs anymore. Go for an aggressive smoke. Get scanned out, and I think they've noticed that as well, but could still very well just attempt to take this bottom tier 2. I want to see Scam in action though. Once he has his next ultimate, he has that Aghanim Scepter. Not going for crits, instead thinks he needs a BKB first. How useful or not that's gonna be against the Chrono, another question entirely. And Sven is gonna feel that Chrono just now in his face. Aghanim's not really gonna help him out in that situation. Instead, it is gonna be the Faceless Void going down though. To Genual. As well as the rest, the Shadow Demon. For once he lives at the very least a little while longer and buys back as well. After making sure that Void is down. Carry for carry trade, not too bad for the side of MTG. That's actually what they want on that Void. Just make sure they, you know, play around their ultimates, play around their timings all over the board. And it looks like Snapfire by now is opting for the funnest item in the game, at least if it's not in the hands of a griefer and your team actually has a plan of the game. The freaking Aghanim Scepter on Snapfire deals a ton of damage, just, you know, gobbling in some melee hero, in this case the Void, setting him up for perfect Chronospheres, and once he finally has that damage on from that MKB, it may actually still be enough to kill that Sven, because it was close there with the last Chronosphere, and the Void did have to overstay his welcome a bit, did have to, you know, tank a lot in the face in order to get the Sven down in the end.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
There's the lasso onto the Nyx Assassin, does not even get dragged up the high ground. Instead, it's gonna be the Sven flying up there, looking for a kill on Nyx, not quite finding that one. Now wants Jackie, and that is a high value kill if Sven can get him. As the Clockwork comes in from behind, though, it's gonna be the Sven dying instead. Sven for a bad ride so far, that's not too shabby at all. Genual goes down in those backlines once again as his Shadow Demon really not having an easy game here. And speaking of an uneasy game, Bombell taking 2/3 of his health as damage from the Timber Saw, and it's gonna be Jackie dropping at the end of that. Oh man, Neon, they have regrouped there now with the Timber Saw, just dishing out the damage before it's too late. And don't really have a carry, but who needs a carry if you split your opponent up like this? If you wait for all your big spells to come out and just slaughter everybody.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Finally, Team Neon are able to get more than that one top tower. Finally get, you know, a bit of that gold to swing around again, since most of that was objective gold. MTG haven't really had that great of time farming. Unlike the Sven, who's still sitting on top of net worth for when he's back. Clockwork gets taken off the map. The damage is kind of slow, allowing Mazaros to go for the bounty rune there. And now Nyx would love to set up a kill on the Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit has the BKB ready, turns around with Nyx. Shadow Demon can't really do anything either, and as the Sven comes in, Storm decides to just get out of there. I mean, that was a big BKB charge. 9 seconds still.
Over here now.
Could have definitely gone worse, at least for Neon. At least they get a consolation prize. Of course, what they need most of all is for any one hero other than the Sven to kind of come online, because I feel like if it's gonna be Sven against Void, going into the mid to late game with the Void potentially picking up something like a crit, like an Aghanim Scepter, like, I don't even know. It really depends on the way that MTG want to play this. I could definitely see an Aghanim Scepter on the Void here, just to allow them to not get ran at when there's no Chronosphere. But altogether the Sven should just die in Chrono in the late game. That's about how it goes. And he also offers more push, which is why I feel like MG just want to stay ahead. They do not want to fall behind against the Sven at all.
Bottom tower is under
Since,
attack.
yeah, okay, Void should always have this when the two of them are on equal footing. But they aren't right now, and when it comes to just destroying tier 3 towers or an entire lane of racks, Sven will make quick work of that. He will just have no trouble whatsoever with the towers. Neeks looking to set up on Fearless, but changes his mind. Oh man, I can't wait for the next teamfight to kick off, and it should be here any second since everything is ready other than the Vendetta. Even the Chronosphere is up and running. But MG, they want to wait for that Void MKB. They want to wait for the... I don't know, maybe a Kai on Storm Spirit. I mean, this guy is really freaking fat. Getting him a Bloodstone will just make him that immortal, near infinite mana split pushing Storm. Once he gets the level 25 talent to go with it, he can shove out at least 2 lanes at once. But there's the initiation on the Earth Spirit. Earth Spirit tanking quite a bit of that. Poke shot getting committed as well, but Void, he has found the 2-man Chrono he has been looking for. This Sven will be the next target, and look at that. Scam losing the better part of his health immediately. Has to BKB up, is now able to turn around on the Void quickly though. Void not quite tanky enough to do anything about this Sven. Doesn't really have enough damage to man-fight him up either. And I think like this is why the Sven was picked in response to the Void. Because you do have this one really big power spike where not only are you a mean clean pushing machine, as you're gonna see right now, because this could potentially already be a lane of wreck without a buyback. But he out-damages the Void by so much that even the bashes aren't gonna be enough to kind of equal it out, to kind of shut down the Sven before the 40-minute mark or something. So 15 minutes of just not dying and not feeding their Void for MG could be a really hard time right now. I don't know.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I'm really happy that the last series of the day is this close of one. At least for the first game right now, since it could still go either team's favor here. Right now I still do think like MG are looking in a really strong spot, but it's mostly because, well, Sven pushes harder the longer the game goes on, and the Void hasn't really fallen off, but they really should have waited for the MKB, and now, even with the MKB, they don't have a Chronosphere for more than a minute. So, okay, MG, they don't care. They want to fight. They challenge the Sven without ultimate to a brawl over at the top. So far, nobody dies. Genuine takes a ton of damage once again, and Timbersaw will manage to finish that one. Sven running at people, he wants a kill. Does not care that he doesn't have his ultimate available, and down goes the Clockwork. Snapfire caught next. Down to half health already. Umbel's still running, but
Dire's top tower is under attack.
looks like top tier 2 is now gonna drop, and with that, only the bottom lane of tower standing. For the side of MG, MG meanwhile got their work cut out for them. Which then again means that by now they're ahead without too much objective gold. But Neon getting all of that objective gold on their fat Sven, who is finally going for those big crits, finally becoming that super exciting 2-shot hero. is the best shot at winning this game for Neon.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So it would seem we're once again at that kind of dogfighty game style where both teams just want to kind of fight initiation on the other. Clockwork will be that initiation, and MG.Trust, maybe they should not have trusted their teammates so much there. Savior buddy syndrome kills, and Sven comes on flying in, chopping down the Snapfire.
But my sadness that you're gone.
Scam, he's got that ultimate activated. Roche is up. After that, the Sven ult's gonna be gone, so I feel like even with that second life on the Sven, Neon will have to wait with the high ground push. But once they start hitting buildings with that Sven ultimate, it's just gonna be game over. MG need to defend the high ground at all costs, need to stay close-knit and play this really carefully. Speaking of which, they are gonna come in with the Void. The Death Ball is finally here. There is smoke up. They do realize what's going on. And Yopesh will take the Aegis for himself as Bat Rider goes on down. MG. They're just splitting off, just trying to get as much safe farm as the game allows for, since their gold advantage, it's freaking been melted. When they stop being able to pressure the Sven, that is gonna be a quick kill there on the Storm Spirit, and nice save on against Sven as well, meaning that MG, this could be GG, at the very least it should be the first lane of super creeps, and seems like Neon, they realize that all they gotta do is drive it home, don't get too cocky around that high ground, but even then, 50 seconds of just getting to work at the space for free.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
He just chops out the bottom lane, wants to at least, you know, prevent megas. That's just gonna be a free lane of Rex at the very least, and that's without the Sven ultimate.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
Neon still very much in fighting shape too in terms of which stealth they have available. No chrono for 100 seconds left. This is gonna be really hard for MG. They're still trying anyways, but Bat Rider goes down, Snapfire goes down, and that is gonna be GG, I think. Q running for his life. Void now got the buyback. I see why they went for it. Seems like Void should have just, or well, Snapfire, anyone should have just been able to buy back a little while earlier. By 10 seconds, Neon just about to drive this home. For the first game of the series, of course, it is a best of 2, and even that doesn't seem to be quite as easy now that the Death Ball is in action again. Everybody is being grouped up, but that also means Sven gets to peek on multiple people, and you do not have to tell him that twice. Look at the damage he just did to the Void there, and that was with the BKB. Without the BKB, Void just getting stun locked up. Seems like Yopesh may have overstayed his welcome, chasing a little bit too deep. He is tanky as all hells, but even with the blade mail, oh boy, the Fountain can't really blade mail against that.
Do it with flair.
This Void, he just can't keep up with the Sven anymore. He is supposed to have the better game, and if the two of them had equal slots, just imagine Void having a butterfly right now. Sven would get so many stuns in his face, so many misses. But once you do fall behind against the Sven, there's very few heroes that can make a decent comeback against him. Especially in the core department, since how do you nuke through 3000 health with like 14 armor? And MTG, they don't care that they're missing a Rex. They are gonna call out Neon, say you're as cooldown dependent as we are, we just get a free objective here. And indeed they do. No Roche after quite a while, so... maneuvering aggressively like this, I don't know, seems like the way to go. At the very least, while Sven ultimates have cooldown. Once that gets ready and Sven finds initiation, you saw that went the last time. And I don't even think Neon need to go for Megas either. If they find another, like, I don't know, 3-4-0, 4-4-0. Since we haven't really seen this Sven hit any buildings with his ultimate. But there is very little Scam can do to still increase his damage. Could swap the Mask of Madness for Satanic here, just, you know, get some status resistance, get even more health pool to work with. But at this point, that's really just a bit of a luxury. Play hard. He went and tried to ward his own high ground, which is this stage in the game surprisingly dangerous, but Sven is just gonna fly and Storm Spirit 3 at him before he even gets out of the stun. Drops the Silver Edge, looking for more. Not gonna find it. As MTG teleport back into the base, looking for a lasso, but instead they find an angry Sven running at everyone he can find. That's the Clockwork down, that's Bombell down on the Snapfire, and Storm Spirit, he is desperately trying to defend this with a couple of zip-zaps. Void coming in, showing that he finally has the damage he needs. That Butterfly is done, and with that, even Sven is gonna drop. Sven down for more than 100 seconds. The Void late game, it's there, and it seems to be pulling through. Embersaw getting caught next, getting silenced up, and there's the Void damage once again. Even with his ton of armor and regen, attack speed plus an MKB, we finally got that fun late game I've been waiting for. I wonder if this is actually gonna be enough to end though. I don't think it is for MTG. Yeah, maybe they're able to get the next Roche and Snowball from there. It could be up in 2 minutes after all. But until the Roche spawns, nothing like that's really decided, and seems like MTG don't even want to risk too much on this push. Maybe they haven't quite realized just how far Jackie is ahead, or they don't know. Yeah, they don't know how close Sven is to that MKB. Also needs to save buyback, but they of course can't see that. So MTG just playing it slow, just waiting for the next Chronosphere, waiting for the next Roche. 35 seconds till the action can resume here, at least from their part.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
And looks like the top tier 1 finally down. Tier 1 towers don't really matter. You want to open up the full lane so that if you push through the mid lane, you can just push through. Still, every little bit of gold matters. This is so close between these two teams, and MTG, they are effectively playing this 2 late gamers against 1 late gamer. With the Storm helping out the Void whenever he needs damage. This is getting hard to 1v5, even for a fat Sven, until he has MKB especially. But with that MKB, the bashes are still gonna be there. The mischance is still gonna be there for a certain part, and now it's gonna be the Void instead. Going for a Satanic, making sure that he can't get stunned up by those Storm Hammers coming out. It's just gonna be able to face tank Sven, bashing him in the face. This Void is looking so strong. Does have buyback available too, so even... Oh man. He missed perfect Chronosphere, and then he didn't even get found by Neon for that, but it looks like Neon will find the first kill of the fight onto Q, or maybe not. And it's gonna be Genuel just getting melted. 3-man Chronosphere, the Void just going ham. Stormspirit with that L25, perfect to help his buddy out. Snipe using Timber, so making sure that he can't really catch. In comes Q, getting gobbled. Private Snapfire, Sven bought back. He wants to end this fight once and for all. Storm Spirit already teleports out, realizing he does not have the mana to deal with Sven right now, and is maybe the Void buyback, depending on how Team Neon are gonna deal with this. I mean, they can finally push down that last lane of non-tier 3 towers. They can finally set themselves up for the mega creeps here.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
This game, it's been 40 minutes, which goes to show that both teams played well, because had either one carry pulled ahead, I think I don't need to tell you how the game would have gone, ladies and gentlemen. Scam just taking care of the tier 2 tower.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Of the tier 1 tower. Not gonna chop away at the tier 2 tower just yet. But yeah, no buyback being used from the Void may mean that this Roach, which is gonna spawn in just 5 seconds, could very well be a free one for the side of Neon. And after that, even if you kill somebody with the Chronosphere and they have a second life, it's gonna be a very hard game to win for MTG once again. They really need to rely on that Void. They can't do that against an Aegis. Doesn't matter if you have a Storm Spirit to help out your Void. Doesn't matter if you have more teamfight damage all over the board. Just be able to compensate for that, and it looks like the Roche already being contested. Neon, they're biding their time around the Roche pit. Don't want to get chronoed on. Well, there's no Chronosphere, so actually could be that Neon are just setting up a bait. This would have been a free Roche, but if they can get more, potentially even finish off the back of this, then why just grab a free Roche? Void comes forward into the Nyx Assassin, forced to proc his BKB immediately. Is backing off as Sven setting up. Everybody else from Neon getting into position. And there goes the Sven flying in. Nice stun onto Tomb. And Lasso now as well. The reveal from the Batrider Aghanim's, but the Chronosphere still was beautiful. No Egypt means the Sven is just gonna go down and stay down. Void doesn't have a buyback. It's gonna commit that one. MTG, they do realize about the Void, they're not all that much of a team. Earth Spirit gonna get killed off, and while they may not be much of a team in those type of fights without the Void, when it comes to chasing, Storm Spirit having a great old time. 22 Bloodstone charges, which, wait, how many Magic Amp did those give? Quite a lot of fire, yeah. That's already like 7 or 8% on top of the... Yeah, I think like 8% actually total. That's not bad. I mean, you can, if you're a good Storm Spirit player, even get more just raw spell amp. Then you can build more Sage and Kaya. And of course, he's now only a cheese on Storm Spirit. I kinda get it. Especially if Void dies with a Chronosphere, it would just be GG. And he's there to man-fight the Sven, but I love the play Storm Spirits are able to pull off only when they have that Aegis, those super risky AoE Vortex with the Aghanim Scepter. And he does have an Aghanim, is now looking to upgrade his Orc to a Bloodthorn, making sure that Void's gonna deal enough damage for a while, and the Void is gonna be doing just that to the tower right now with the Leveler, as well as a ton of attack speed. That's gonna even out the lane of Rex for now. And MG, they want more.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Stupendous!
And looks like over on the top lane, the next fight's gonna erupt. Storm and Void immediately getting out of their Storm Spirit with the Remnants, actually making it hard to pursue the Void, but also makes it easy for him to get stunned up.
Time is money.
With that Aegis, all it'll take is one fight where MG actually don't lose their Void. Sven, he has second life available, but he does not have an ultimate once he uses that one, so could still be very hard holding if Neon were to lose the next team fight. But if it comes to initiation, Neon are plenty powerful themselves. Will get caught though. With Yopatch, who doesn't even get the ultimate out, which would have been an amazing magnetize. And that means MG, for the low price of a lasso, now get to take control of the map around that Roche pit, now get to once again shove down lanes and see if they can't get a couple more objectives. As for the Sven, he's got his MKB, so in terms of damage he can actually do something against the Void. Does not have buyback available, which costs more than 3,000. And Zondberg going in, dishing out a ton of damage onto the Timbersaw. The tank may not be the best target to focus, but Void with that Satanic is gonna turn onto the Neeks assassin. Now instead jumping back on the Sven, who does not have a BKB anymore, and locked it down in the Chronosphere. Nice save there from the Stonespirit, but that will not save Sven's life. Sven immediately... Actually, he doesn't even have buyback. Never mind that. He was still like a couple hundred off, and... yeah, that's gonna be at least 2 lanes of Rax for the Sven not saving buyback, if not the game. All based off like not having a buyback on the Sven. Then again, it was kind of already too late for Team Neons to still stand the best chances. I feel like they were kind of demotivated when after this push to the mid lane, they didn't really get anything done. So it's been a very close, very hard game on both of these teams. I definitely enjoyed myself, and I hope we're gonna see more of this good Dota coming up soon.
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And looks like the bottom tier 3 tower gonna get dropped as well. With that, the Rex are crumbling. Void turning on the Timbersaw, just making sure that there is no more defense left. 2-man lasso 2 getting thrown out by the Bad Riders. If the game was already over enough, and Yopatch is gonna go down.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under. Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen.
With that, lane of Rex finished. And no Megas coming in quite yet, so...
Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen.
Looks like the top tier 2 tower needs to be pushed in. There is no way Neon are just gonna call this GG, especially with the Sven still having his buyback available, just needing a good opportunity to use it. And if he gets a break, that's the timing where he can actually fight a Void without Chronosphere. Yeah, that's a big condition to just win a one-on-one between hard carries. He needs to both have no Chronosphere, and you need to like fight him in a very specific break timing, but at the very least Sven still stands a chance to fight against the Void, despite everyone on the side of MG just looking that freaking strong. Other than the Sven, so who's still 3,000 away from buyback, nobody has anything to work with here, which means that this game is probably going to be decided at this point. Finally, I may say, because it's been 50 minutes. I had really not expected that when I saw these drafts from both teams. But it was really just back and forth. Both teams fighting a lot, trying to pull ahead to the point where there's no comeback possibility. And it looks like MTG have finally made it. SCM just can't dish out any more damage, gets locked down, gets kited around, GG gets called. Void throwing out the celebratory Chronosphere, and with that, we are gonna go to a little bit of a break before the last game of today is gonna start. I do hope you've enjoyed the show so far, ladies and gentlemen. One more round of Dota coming up here in the Moon Studio Mid-Autumn Asia League. Hope you're having a great time. I most certainly am. I hope that
Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team pick. Radiant team pick. Dire team pick. Radiant team pick.
Oracle.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and with that we are back this second and with that final game of the day already. Up between Neon Esports and Trust Gaming, MTG.
10 seconds remaining.
Those guys have truly pulled their own. I mean, that Faces Void against Sven, a very
5
close matchup.
seconds remaining.
I'm definitely a fan of
Dire
seeing
team
that
back.
one, and I had not expected it to be that good of a show. With the Void actually almost going down against the Sven on multiple occasions. Neon, they got an Earth Spirit once again. Yopash definitely knows what he's doing on that hero, can push the tempo, and could always
10
just be that
seconds
position 3.
remaining.
You know, keep Earth Spirit in the back, make sure that he's just
5
make sure that
seconds
he's just having a
remaining.
safe game,
Radiant team back.
can create space for the carry and whatever. I really like the versatility and the thought that goes into a lot of these Neon drafts. It's just that oftentimes they're too dependent on their core. Last game, okay, that was a bit of an easy example there, not gonna lie, but
Dire
back in the
team
Phantom
back.
Lancer days, we saw that same issue a lot, where Phantom Lancer kind of struggled with coming online in time.
Radiant team
Quite a
back.
bunch
Dire
of
team
times,
back.
actually. And it looks like,
10
you know, Tiny
seconds
Oracle.
remaining.
Tiny always great with a healer. The Avalanche Toss plus Oracle
Radiant
Snare
team
also
back.
pretty good combination. But we're gonna see how this is gonna play out. Who are the position ones gonna be more
10
importantly,
seconds
since...
remaining.
Oh man, Bloodseeker's out. That's a hero I would have loved. Really, any
5
hero that likes to
seconds
fight
remaining.
and push early
Radiant
seems
team pick.
a lot more well suited if Neon want to pull a win here. I'm hoping they go with something aggressive, something like a Juggernaut. Win the game at 30 minutes, make sure your opponent just can't possibly claw their way back into it.
10 seconds. Dire team pick.
Neon gonna pick up the Elder Titan now. That's huge with any big melee carry. Doesn't matter if it's something early like the Juggernaut, like the Bloodseeker, or something more late game oriented. Well, the Faces Void is gone, so in terms of the carry department, we may very well see heroes like the
10
Arc Warden,
seconds
or
remaining.
I don't know what else these teams are planning to take to the late game.
5
There's a bunch of
seconds
viable
remaining.
options, but all of the really comfortable heroes, all of the playstyle specific heroes, if you will, have kind of been removed from the draft already, are kind of, you know, making it a little bit more difficult here for the drafters on either side.
Radiant team
Motivate,
Timber
they can set up
saw.
some kind of an Oracle synergy here. Maybe even go with the Urza or something like that. I definitely feel like that hero is just bringing a lot to the table, can really upset this game here and take control. Monkey King is gonna get picked up for Neon. That's a high risk, high reward hero. Great synergy with the Elf Titan and the Earth Spirit. He does need a big, beefy melee hero to go in for him,
10
so set
seconds
things up.
remaining.
Monkey King on his own, not really the
Dire
best of,
team
you know,
back.
hit trader. Can't really do what a Sven just did to the Faces Void, and it looks like Motivate, they are once again trying to, you know, win the carry matchup with a carry that offers a little bit of evasion here. This time around actually comes built in. Troll Warlord also great attack speed. With that Basher, he just becomes an unstoppable force
10
against the
seconds
Monkey King.
remaining.
Monkey King, yeah, there's a bunch of Monkey King players that like to go
5 seconds
Basher
remaining.
themselves, but what are you really gonna do with a Basher here? I don't feel like it's gonna enable you too many crazy plays in this situation, so yeah. gonna see how this is gonna play out in just a bit. I'm curious to see what the mid lane matchup would be. Something like a Zeus would be really good here for Neon. They want to just like snowball and run over their opponents.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
And we're just gonna play the waiting game here. Still a bunch of reserve time left. Also, these drafters clearly just biding their time. Don't really have a plan as of yet, but honestly, Team Neon, the way they played last game, they really deserve to win. And I feel like the biggest issue right now, for their side especially, is demotivation. What do you do when you just play so well in a game you can't win and it's looking so close, and then the Void still just like drives the final nail home in the coffin? Seems, you know, kind of demotivating to me. The Zeus has been banned out now. Neon decide they do not want him themselves, and the OD getting banned out as well. That would have been a great setup for the Monkey King. Really, any one of those spell damaged, big teamfight setup mid laners will do the trick here, so plenty of viable bans for the side of Motivate.
10 seconds remaining.
Motivate with a D, I guess.
5 seconds remaining.
I really do like this orc though. Gotta say, with no idea what to expect from this team, they have played such a close and surprising game number 1 that I'm really looking forward to the next.
Dire team pick.
Ember Spirit gonna get banned out now as well. Interesting last ban. I don't think he would have been that big of a threat. Ember is one of those heroes where if you just catch him out while split pushing, while Slayer fisting, he can't really recover from that.
10 seconds
He's
remaining.
not too good at escaping once he doesn't have any remnants out.
Storm
And
Spirit.
Team Neon definitely experienced enough as a team to kind of maneuver that, but it's gonna be the Storm Spirit last picked here. For the side of Team Motivate, to definitely do like some kind of a fast disabling initiator here, especially with the Troll Warlord. You always have to take that
10
little bit of a
seconds
moment to
remaining.
get your stacks up and running, to actually start hitting things quickly.
5 seconds remaining.
And in this scenario, they're not gonna have any troubles with that.
You may now select your heroes.
Queen of Pain getting picked up as well. Neon, they want to play this fast. Not quite the draft I would have expected from them. I'm not really sure what to make of Neon's draft. I definitely gotta say I favor Motivate once again quite a bit. Once again, Neon do know how to answer Motivate's, well, threats, the pressure that they're putting down. It's really just that, you know, if you're the one that's being answered to, do you really feel comfortable? Is that really the playstyle, especially that Neon wanna play and wanna double down on, really?
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
And yeah, we're just gonna sit around, wait out the timer for the load in. I'm gonna do my overlay here real quick, since we do have a bunch more Dota coming up. And yeah, well, I could see this one really end at the 25-minute mark if Neon don't just get shut down early on, which, you know, is gonna be kind of difficult. They do have their work cut out for them, especially with something like a Queen of Pain, where your ultimate is huge, but once you can't rely on the Queen of Pain ultimate anymore to pretty much win you a team fight at the press of a button, that's when this game is gonna start turning hard. That's when you have to, you know, play around their respective timings, which is gonna be a lot easier for a team with than a Troll Warlord. Yeah, of course. can still get hard, but I don't think it's gonna be that much of an issue. I'm gonna do one more overlay here, and then we should hopefully also have done pause. If not, I can already order myself some food though, so not that I mind. I'd still just, you know, like to end the game today as good as the game today started. It's been a really exciting day here in the Moon Studio, Mid-Autumn League, and Yopash sure to give us a run for our money in the last game.